Scott Derrickson moved on to bigger and better things and attempts to direct next year's Doctor Strange, all thanks to the first Sinister. Then someone comes in to direct the sequel and it proves to me how a single movie could in fact destroy a director's career. I think you know where I'm going with this. Okay, so Sinister 2, here we go. So Sinister 2 follows the story of Deputy So-and-so from the original, in which he quit his job as a deputy and now professes as a private investigator. Because after the events of the original Sinister, he believed it would serve the people and himself justice to learn more about the creature that murdered Ethan Hawke and his family. Until he meets a woman in which her 9-year-old twin sons already encountered the evil spirit who was hell-bent on basically possessing them and killing their entire family. And during Deputy So-and-so's investigation on a murder that took place in the same house the family lives in, he must find a way to get rid of Bughuul from terrorizing this family. Now, Sinister 2, as much as I didn't want to judge this movie by the trailer, it's extremely hard not to, considering how horrible those trailers were put together. Every time I would watch a video on YouTube, the trailer would pop up and I'm like, great, it's the same Sinister 2 trailer from the last video I watched. It's forcing me to watch the same jump scares, the same dialogue that may not even come close to the original Sinister, in which for me is one of the best horror movies to come out this decade. The original one scared the shit out of me, but after watching this one, I really want to shoot myself. Because the reason why you see horror movies so you can get freaked out. You want to see some scary stuff. And it's even more effective when you bring elements from the movie home with you. And it kind of plays mind games with you. That's when you know a horror movie does its job well. Despite the fact that Sinister 2 wasn't in the slightest bit of scary or freaky, makes me wonder if we will ever get a horror movie that's in the slightest bit of scary or freaky. Because let me break it down for you. As much as I love going in depth with movies, Sinister 2 doesn't make me want to do it because it doesn't deserve it. And if you're on YouTube a lot and if you've seen the trailer over and over, guess what? You've seen the entire movie, seriously. I'm being honest, every jump scare, every pivotal moment that could increase the intensity in the movie was spoiled in the trailer, since you saw every jump scare coming from a mile away. Because these trailers are being advertised repeatedly, and these scares, they wear off quickly because they're not as effective when you witness them on the big screen. When you see Deputy So-and-so look at the picture and Bughuul pops out from the back, you know it's coming because you're like, oh yeah, I've seen it in the trailer. But when you realize that this movie literally shows every jump scare in its trailer, you're like, why am I watching this piece of garbage? And that's not even the worst part about Sinister 2, since the movie does revolve around the woman's two sons and them seeing the ghosts of the children that Bughuul has murdered. It turns into this movie where it's not even about her mother being concerned about her two sons who could in fact be in danger. Actually, I don't think the mom has a clue that her kids are being haunted by Bughuul. But it turns into a movie where a good 70% of the time her kids are talking to ghosts with the most laughable dialogue I've heard in a horror movie to date. The ghost kids are making the real kids watch the Super 8 films of them murdering their families, and they're like, you have to watch them. They'll get rid of your bad dreams. And one kid was like, really? And the other ghost was like, yeah, you'll never have a bad dream again. Bughuul's kids talking to actual kids, it's not scary. I don't understand. And when these kids are not dealing with Bughuul, we suddenly get this backstory about their abusive father trying to get full custody from their mother. And then it takes this 180-degree turn where it turns into this straight up drama, and I'm like, I don't think this movie knows it's a horror movie. It has no idea what it wants to be sometimes, and it seriously makes me beg, can we get back to Bughuul and his little children of the corn? Because that's surprisingly more interesting than a shitty acted abusive father surrounded by other shitty actors. Oh yeah, and Deputy So-and-so, it's not really about him. Who's the main star of the film? That's weird. Because in the end, Sinister 2 has no idea what it wants to be. The acting and the dialogue, it was all terrible. It kind of goes against what made the original one so creepy, is that you're looking for Bughuul this whole time, and you're like, yeah, he's a menacing, sneaky little bastard. But nope. Bughuul was shown straight up, and he wasn't as villainous as he was previously. And the movie treating it like a drama in the second half, it was all over the place. I mean, I had a feeling that this movie was gonna suck ass, but it was a lot worse than I imagined. Sinister 2 should never be brought up in the horror genre or in movies in general, because it is a true abomination to cinema. Help us, Guillermo del Toro. You are my only hope. So, Sinister 2, have you seen it, and what did you think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, leave a comment below. And as always, there's a link for my Twitter and my Facebook below as well. Keep in contact with me. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. But in the meantime, I have to get going to be depressed because Sinister 2 really did it this time.